All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Our first fight of the evening is at a catch weight of 150 pounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, a Way of the Spider mixed martial artist. He comes to the cage with a record of 2 wins and 1 loss. 1 win coming by way of knockout, 1 by submission. He stands at 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed in officially at 151 pounds, representing Classic Fight Team and Pinnacle MMA from Norwalk, California, the amazing Spider-Man, Michael Reddemann. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the blue corner, a freestyle fighter. He brings a record of 1 win and no losses to the cage. His 1 win coming by way of knockout. He stands at 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed in officially at 149.4 pounds. He fights and trains with Dream Killer Fight Team from South Central Los Angeles, California, George El Especialista Pulido. Referee in charge of the action, Lee Cox.
Here we go, folks, 360 seconds of fighting at a 150-pound catch weight. 2 young fighters ready to go. Michael Reddemann in the red corner. George Pulido in the blue corner. This is the UofMMA. It starts here. Reddemann quite relaxed in these opening seconds.
Coming in right with those kicks right away.
And this is what we expect from Pulido, aggressive, right in the face of Reddemann, and quickly moving into side control.
Well, Pulido's known for his heavy grappling and his super aggressiveness. DeMar George, who is one of our alums, is his head coach, and that's what he talks about when talking about Pulido, is what an aggressive yet really confident guy he is.
Pulido lands a couple of strikes, but right now Reddemann holding him in the full closed guard. Now he opens up a bit.
Right now, Pulido's got to be very careful for that triangle. We've talked about this. They're a little bit harder to lock in when you have those leg shin guards on, but it's still a possibility, and he needs to be aware of it. If Michael can grab that one of his hands and pop it through his legs, he's in danger of being triangled, but he's doing a good job of fighting it off.
Reddemann's first fight was a submission win back in August of 2016 against Sean Hurst. Quick in the first round, Reddemann threw up a triangle, transitioned to the armbar, and got the finish. So he does have skills off his back.
Yeah, and that shows where he's very comfortable. Also, this guy was not playing coming out of the gate. He took 3 fights, all within 3 months of each other, the last 2 within 26 days of each other.
The 4th fight of the year for young Michael Reddemann, 19 years old, making his UofMMA debut. Pulido last saw us about 6-8 months ago.
Now Pulido's working for that head and arm triangle, or at least locking in that arm. It's really hard to do from guard, and there goes Reddemann looking for that triangle.
Pulido, though, letting loose in the closing seconds, making a statement about the first round.
That's how you end a round.
Now, interesting to note, in those last few seconds,
yeah.
George Pulido's 25 years old, Michael Reddemann 19 years old. Reddemann, obviously a talented athlete, but you do see a bit of a size difference, and that's one thing we encounter a lot in the amateurs. That 6-year difference is a big muscle difference.
Once again, a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, on Friday, January 20th,
we talk about that a lot.
The world's
that's when
best
a lot of guys do
kickboxers
come into their man
downtown
body,
Los
their man
Angeles
strength,
for Glory
and you see that,
37.
especially not only in George's body, but also in his demeanor. He's been training for 6 years with boxing, 4 years with MMA. That calmness, that confidence, that man demeanor definitely comes across.
George Pulido, the Naga gold medalist in jiu-jitsu, showing off that jiu-jitsu pedigree here in the first round. Got it to the ground quickly, moved into side control, and then replaced that guard from the bottom, did Michael Reddemann, but some strong ground and pound here from Pulido.
Both of these fighters seem very comfortable in the grapple, so maybe one of them decides to keep it standing this round. Let's see.
Now, Reddemann also is a Naga champion, so let's not discount his ground game.
Exactly.
We saw some of that threatening jiu-jitsu from his back in the first round. Let's see who will take the second in this catch weight affair. George Pulido in the blue corner, Michael Reddemann in the red corner. Let's go.
Pulido's letting his mouth guard come out of his mouth a little bit. That always worries me. I don't know if it means he can't breathe or if it's just a really bad habit that he's gotten into. Either way, it's not a good thing.
Some people also just make a choice of mouth guard that doesn't work out as well on fight night.
You definitely want one that's nice and fitting and that you don't notice being there.
Big techniques from Reddemann. Pulido makes him pay with a low kick. Notice the smaller cage does tend to favor grapplers.
Definitely. And Pulido's going to his place that he's really comfortable, back down on the ground.
But Reddemann has that arm-in guillotine attempt. Lost it now.
Again, all of those submissions will definitely there to pull off are a lot harder to do with the gloves and the shin guards on. An arm-in guillotine is really hard to finish with those gloves on. And
Now
it looks
Reddemann
like he's
throwing
going for
those
that
legs
arm
up.
bar. He might have it. If he can flatten out and straighten his legs, he's definitely got his arm. Oh, nice recovery from Pulido.
Great escape from Pulido, but back in it, and now a triangle attempt. Switching to an arm bar.
He's got that deep. Pulido's out again. Fantastic grappling from both of these guys. And Reddemann was able to recover the top, but Pulido's doing a really good job. It's a weird guard, and there's really nothing to do offensively from there, but he's definitely trying to keep him at bay defensively.
Two Naga champions showing off their skills in the second round.
And Reddemann's back into full guard, and there is definitely an arm lock there, but I'm not too worried about it for Pulido.
20 seconds left in the second stanza. Big left hand. That left has been a lot for Pulido tonight.
That's why I think Reddemann is trying to pull him close into that guard. You don't want to give him that space to punch.
Reddemann catches the kick.
These rounds are going fast for these guys. I feel like these guys are both capable of fighting longer rounds.
The work rate's been pretty high for both of them.
Yeah.
2 rounds in the books. You kind of have to think Pulido's ahead, if only with the top control.
You know, it really depends on how the judges are seeing
Sure.
it and what they know about grappling, because really, Reddemann has had more submission attempts from the bottom, whereas George has been pretty much on defense as far as the grappling goes, but with the ground and pound and the striking, he's been ahead. So it kind of depends on what the judges know and how they judge those those exchanges.
And that, of course, raises another interesting debate. We had the really excellent triangle transition to armbar attempt from Reddemann, but then the really slick escape from George Pulido. So from a jiu-jitsu standpoint,
Depends
which one
on,
do you?
Yeah, which one do you award? Well, it is worth noting that sitting over with the judges, I don't think she's a judge tonight, but she is here observing, is Felicia O, one of the first American female black belts. So you have to think that the grappling knowledge of what's going on backstage is pretty high. And it's worth noting that a couple of our refs here are also black belts themselves.
120 seconds remain. Will there be more of the same? Or will Reddemann keep this one on the feet? Very talented striker is the 19-year-old.
Oh,
Reddemann
trash
looks
talking.
so
Pulido's
relaxed.
trying to egg him on a little bit.
Nice combination from Reddemann. Responded from Pulido.
I'd like to see both these fighters maybe set up those kicks with a couple punches first, because they're both going into those kicks.
Well, Reddemann did throw that 1-2 before the high kick. Pulido, though, throwing those kicks on singles.
There's a nice combination.
Now, if you notice,
Low blow.
a little low blow there.
As I understand, that's not super comfortable.
Not as fun as you think.
No.
One thing you might notice, though, if you're keeping an eye on the fighters, watch George Pulido's eyes as they're in the striking exchanges. And this is where you start seeing someone who's got a little more experience in Muay Thai. I haven't been able to see Reddemann's eyes here, but Pulido's looking at the chest of Reddemann.
Which is exactly where you should
Exactly
be
where
looking,
you
because
wanna
you
be.
can see pretty much everything in the peripheral when you look at the chest of your opponent. You definitely don't want to look them in the eye. You can get psyched out. You certainly don't want to look where you're throwing those strikes.
All right, action about to resume. Referee making sure everyone knows where their kicks should land. Entering the halfway point of the final round.
See if one of these fighters can make a statement. Nice knee from Reddemann.
And there's Pulido playing that game.
Fantastic takedown. Pulido's looking to pass. But you know what? Reddemann with that guard.
45 seconds remaining, not a lot of time to get a submission.
It's possible. He could definitely do it, but he's going to have to work for it really hard. George is doing a great job at the defense and making sure that he can't really lock anything up.
George looking to pass.
Again, though, he goes into the, I guess, donkey guard. I don't know what you want to call that. Backwards cowboy thing. There's really nothing either of them can do from there, but Reddemann could take his back, or that was a great reversal from Pulido, and now he's going for a guillotine.
Pulido looking for the neck. Now dropping in.
He's got an arm in guillotine. No, he doesn't. He
Got it all the way through.
He has a Marcelo team. But
Not
Reddemann
much
is
time
doing
left.
a great job tripoding up and defending it. There wasn't enough gas or space to finish the guillotine.
A tough fought match between these two young fighters.
It really depends on how the judges see it, how this is going to go, in my opinion.
Well, you got to look at this round by round. Round one, Pulido seemed to control it a bit more.
Yeah.
Round two is where we really saw that jiu-jitsu game of Reddemann start to open up more. Some scrambles, some submission attempts. We gotta
Right, so
wonder-
how are the judges going to judge it? Are they giving points for submission attempts? Are they giving points for defense? Are they giving points for control? Those are all things to take into account, but they also could be an opinion.
There definitely could be an opinion. You also have to think, though, is even if we do give round two to Reddemann, which is a very strong argument for that, you have round one probably in Pulido's corner.
I agree.
Round two possibly in Reddemann's corner. So the question comes down to what happened with round three.
Right.
We have the ending with the submission attempt. We have the top game
There's
of,
the takedown.
of George Pulido. There's the takedown. So I think that one of the stories of this fight really is the youth of Michael Reddemann, because the guy's got talent coming out of his face. I mean, the guy's got a whole
Right.
ton of striking ability, really quick and excellent athlete. But a lot like we'll see with some of our fighters we'll see later tonight, you have that thing where 19 years old, your body doesn't necessarily does not necessarily catch up to the skill set that you've developed.
That's an incredibly fair assessment, Rich Slayton.
Well, I've been here before.
Have you?
Yes,
That's
once or
nice.
twice. Waiting for our judge's decision. So far, this is just us talking, folks. Some prognostication from the best we can see. Great performance on both
Looks like
guys.
all the cards are in, so we might have an answer soon.
Talking
Who the
about
winner of this
talking
is.
about Michael Reddemann's skill set, he's been doing boxing and karate since 7 years old. Started Muay Thai at 7 years old.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Long time.
fantastic.
Jiu-jitsu since 12, and you can see some of that skill set.
Nothing wrong with
with
that.
him
You can
threatening
tell
from the
he's
bottom.
incredibly comfortable on the ground. But, you know, George Pulido, who's 25, he's been training boxing for 6 years, MMA for 4 years. That's basically all of his 20s, really, and late teens. That's when guys are most athletic and when they're going to really retain all of that really good information.
Two talented fighters, but now it's all left to the judges to get our official decision. Let's go inside the cage with Salvador Arellano.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges score the fight the same unanimously for your winner. Out of the blue corner, George El Especialista Pulido.
There you have it, folks. George Pulido with the victory.
Win over Michael Reddemann. Tell me, how tired were you going in that 3rd round, and what did your corner tell you to do?
Kind of used to this kind of feeling, so we fight through this tiredness. No such thing as tired. Tired, don't live here. Wrong address unknown, baby.
Nice. Now, you guys were going at it, and you were really, really close to the end to getting that guillotine to finish him off. Were you surprised that he didn't tap to that?
Hey, he's tough, baby. He comes to fight. He comes from the spider, baby. So he's ready. I also want to thank Labib, my ex-opponent. I wasn't humble enough to thank him, so thank you, Labib, for putting on that fight. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Right on. Now, this was at 150 pounds. Where do you see yourself competing in the future?
Wherever God wants me to be, that's where I'll be.
You've heard it here. Give it up for your first winner of the night, George Pulido.